This was the first store that I went into. I had to wait about 10 minutes before they opened. There was one worker there, Wesley. Here are a bunch of Wii games. Wii U. Some NES, not so rare titles. Some Super Nintendo. A bunch of bag controllers for various consoles. They had a lot of miscellaneous stuff around here in the center. Bunch of different aftermarket controllers, light guns, and so forth. I just realized I forgot to go back and look in that cabinet. They do have some toys and other things as well. There are some cards there. Here was a Gen 2 wall. I missed the Intellivision stuff, but there's a lot of Atari there, along with a few Intellivision games. They were mixed in. This was mostly Genesis, but I did find a couple Master System box games in there. Unfortunately, nothing I needed. Whole bunch of Pops, little stuffies, all iterations of Xbox. PlayStation. Good variety of stuff here. Dreamcast, I think, was right there. Some more toys, Hot Wheels. Here was some of the more rare items. You had N64, Nintendo, some boxed NES down there. There was some Genesis. Here we've got some imported goodies, N64. Now this was some of the rare NES games. I wanted to pick up Clue Land, but I ended up not being able to make a deal. These were some of the box games. There was a couple that I wanted to pick up. Here were some Intellivision games, along with a few Atari. They were all mixed up. I love seeing Gen 2. A Virtual Boy, one of the things that I still don't own. This was their test machine. It plays 3 different types of carts: NES, Super NES, and Genesis. I have one of those as well, and I bought mine for testing. This is a whole bunch of Genesis loose carts. Some Wii games and N64 inside the case. Some imports. I thought this was really cool. Didn't know it existed on the N64. Alright, so it was really nice chatting for quite a while with Wesley, the guy working in the store. I got there right when they opened, so only one person came, and it was near the end. Had a good conversation about several games and different consoles. And what I picked up from him was Top Players Tennis, American Gladiators, Werewolf the Last Warrior. I had never seen this one before. And Harlem Globetrotters.
So we've been open for about 3 years. I work here with my father. This actually started a hobby of ours about 10 years ago. We carry pretty much everything from NES to Super Nintendo to modern systems like Switch and PS4. We have a plethora of games ranging from many generations, and we also carry Funko Pops and other assortments of collectibles.
Walk in, you're greeted to a huge wall. We'll span out when we come back through here. All video games here. We've got a bunch of NES titles down here. We got the Pops. They have a lot of Pops. Here we've got a bunch of boxed NES games, Super Nintendo, N64. Here we've got Super Nintendo, N64, movies, Nintendo handhelds. They have a lot of toys here as well. Here's another game case. And you're gonna see extreme amount of the Pops. All the way down, those are all Pops. You've got toys down the back here. I'll show you the other side as well. Here you're gonna come across a lot of graded games. Some really good ones. You can see some more on the other side. We'll spin around here. We've got some consoles. There's a Virtual Boy, lots of N64s, lots of Nintendo. More toys here. Let's head back around and we'll show you some of these graded games. A couple 9.8 A++s in there. Lots of cool toys. Here we've got some Master System, bunch of Genesis, some box consoles. They had a good amount of boxed NES games, which I love to see and pick through. Some Super Nintendo box games here. N64, good amount of those as well. I didn't end up picking any of those up. Some more N64 games, some other NES. Bunch of loose N64 titles here. Bunch of handheld Nintendo games. This was a big case with a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. I see Sega CD, Saturn, all kinds of things in there. They had a good amount of graded games. He didn't really have prices on them. He wanted to do big trades. These were everywhere. Ton, huge wall of pops. Some Super Nintendo loose games. More pops on the other side. Bunch of NES titles, some really good ones in there as well. I picked up quite a few. This wall is huge. More modern stuff, but still considered retro. All versions of Xbox, PlayStation. This was their console cabinet. Lots of N64 and some older stuff. I spent a lot of time chatting with Alex and his dad about games and selling, and it's kind of cool because they started whenever Alex was fairly young and he wanted to collect games, and then they started selling all their extras at like game swaps, and they went into full store mode about 3 years ago. They actually purchased a large chunk of the games when they got started from another store that's local in town, where they were a comic book store and game store, and they sold off all their game stuff. So it kind of helped them get started along with all their extras. I really enjoyed hanging out there. I think I was there a couple hours, and what I picked up from there, 1943. I love shooters. I'm surprised I didn't have that one already. Just haven't come across it. Silkworm. High Speed, world's #1 pinball. Klax. Nobunaga's Ambition. I'm probably butchering that. No idea what that is. Space Shuttle. Joe and Mac. Spelunker. And the final game I grabbed there was a complete in box Airwolf. Now, this isn't a very expensive game. It was in really good condition, and this is a game that I remember getting as a kid. I'm trying to get all the games I can remember having as a kid complete in box as I find them, and I remember liking this one okay. It wasn't great, but I'm looking forward to trying it again, as it's been a long time. So that's going to do it for my trip to the game stores. I had a lot of fun. I had to go down there pretty far from home, and I got to check out 2 game stores that I've never been in, meet some new people, and get quite a few more pickups. This Saturday, I'll be at Fire and Ice. They're having a grand opening at the new store, special event. I'm really looking forward to that, and I will definitely have a few pickups and show you guys what I see there that day. It's actually tomorrow. All right, guys, we'll see you soon.